Hello guys, another dose of clues, cues and reviews, and today we're reviewing Fairy Tail 467. Now the video in itself will be, sorry, 1 second. Video will be a relatively shorter video than usual because it was, to be fair, a fairly straightforward chapter compared to usual. So as you know from my videos, I tend to like to go into the nitty gritty details and look at little different intricate things, and my videos tend to be quite long. Which is cool for those people who have the patience to go above 7 minutes, but I appreciate some people don't. So, to keep this short, to kind of summarize it, is the actual chapter is really two parts. Part A, or part 1, is basically the battle in the south, where Lamia's Gale, Mermaid Heel are fighting parts of the Alvarez Empire. So you see, Leon going in there doing an ice make, giant stomp. You see, the few of the characters doing their thing, and while Itch gets involved, and he, for all intents purposes, he does a nuking attack with like a homing device type of thing, and he basically picks out some of the members from Mermaid Heel, and he sends an attack. So they realized an attack's on the way. Kagura gets involved, pow, puts and destroys them, but she then gets stopped by Dimaria Yester. Dimaria is the one that was with Val-Ich and Nineheart. Now we haven't seen much of Nineheart. I don't know what Nineheart's doing. He's a scary dude. He looks interesting, but we've not really seen much of him. But effectively, Dimaria jumps in the fight. Dimaria. Sorry, I don't know what the pronunciation for this one is. And she's scary to the point where someone as fearless as Kagura, or Kagura, I think the specific name is. I'm thinking Kaguya here, so apologies. Takes notice to the point where she's kind of like, right, okay. Then she starts losing parts of her senses, and it kind of reminds me of that character from the Prince of Tennis that makes you lose senses. So it's a kind of a similar kind of concept where it's an internal struggle. Now, at the same time, this girl is thinking, oh, I like your kimono, I want to add some red to it. So she's talking about blood, of course. So she's got a vicious streak, and she chops up parts of her kimono, and it's done so fast that Kagura hasn't even realized that it's happened. So you can imagine how skilled this person is. Now, is this one of those situations where she moves so fast, she did that, and the stopping part was the last thing? Or is this all part of a technique? Is her energy manifesting in physical form? Is it a cutting manipulation type of thing? We don't know. But what it does tell us is there's an interesting fight to be had between them two. Now, a lot of people were disappointed with how that character turned out, especially at the end of the World Magic Games. I think realistically, I'm hoping this happens, but I think this is going to be a battle to redeem herself. Because I think one thing that was heavily influenced in that first fight, the fight with Erza Titania, was the emotional connection, the memories, the fact that her brother died and she realized it was her who actually saved her. That affected that outcome, really. So it was an emotional side that, that obviously affected the outcome. So at the same time, with this being a mental game now, your senses about being very mentally strong in situation where maybe your sight goes, your hearing goes, your senses go, your ability to speak goes, touch goes, things like that. It is the whole mental side of it, and I think this might help show that she not only has she's improved physically, but there's a mental improvement with Kagura, sorry, whichever one it is. Anyway, skipping on to part 2. So part 2 is, it goes back to where Fairy Tail is. So what we saw in the last chapter was a bit of craziness, where Marin basically tries suffocating the hell out of Miss Brandish. Now, of all times to kill her when she's basically fully naked near enough to kill her in that position, at least clothe the girl first before you're going to kill her off. Come on, at least put decent clothing on her. But in any case, he doesn't get away with it. He gets interrupted. So effectively, as soon as she lost consciousness, when she woke up next, she was basically like in the infirmary, and Polsha and the older lady helped out, kind of brought her back, and she's like, oh, where am I? How did I get here? It was one of those situations, effectively. So they explain that, they've locked him up downstairs. So she asks, and they basically don't want to torture her, they don't want to kill her, they want to find out more about what she can tell her about the past, especially about Layla. So it turns out that Lady Brandish's mother was called Grammy, and Grammy was, you could say, a disciple or a follower of Lucy's mother, Layla. So when she stopped being a celestial dragon, celestial magic, spirit magic, I'm losing my words here, sorry, but celestial mage, there you go. She split her keys between 3 people. She gave Scorpio to one person, she gave Cancer to one person, and she gave Aquarius to her mother. So the conflict with her is the fact that how did she end up with the key when her mother was meant to have the key, and she thinks that it was because the Layla betrayed the mother, her Grammy, and that's how they got the key back. And effectively what this is pretty much the reasoning behind why she's still alive. So Lady Brandish will have a change of heart, will find out the truth, and that's basically where she's going to become an ally, in my opinion. That's pretty much what's going to happen, or she's just going to remain impartial. She doesn't really want to get involved anyway, and she wants to just do that. So basically she thinks it was Layla. Now here's the thing. She attacks Lucy. She has tears in her eyes. She apologizes. She goes, look, this is the only thing I can do to get my revenge. And she goes, look, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to kill you. Water appears. And you know with water appears, who turns up? Aquarius is back. So here's the thing with this. If you think back in the manga, and even in the anime, even though she doesn't summon them, they can still turn up if they want to. So when the key broke, she said, you will not be able to summon me. I will not be able to return based on your summoning. But that does not mean that she can't return on her own. So ultimately, I believe the key can get repaired. We're only going to find out next time round, and the truth will be revealed, and we'll find out what happened. Honestly, more than likely, in my opinion, what's probably happened is the fact that the key was given to them for safeguarding up until the daughter became of age. That's probably what's happened. We're going to find out next week. I can't wait. Here's a little tidbit for you. No one's really mentioned this, but when Zeref was getting his ass kicked by Natsu, he mentioned names, right? He mentioned Layla, he mentioned somebody called Anna, he mentioned about all of these other people, he mentioned Mavis. I think that the original person that opened the gates, that was a celestial mage, is the ancestor of Lucy. So the Lucy's family and their family is a lot more connected than we think. So I think this is something, the reason why they've been friends, they met each other and everything else, although it's part of the story, I think it was pre-designed as part of like a whole destiny thing where they were destined to meet because their family had been so well connected before. And I think it's been passed through the generations where the plan was for them to open the gates when magic Ethero was highly in abundance, and I think that was the promise passed through the generation. So anyway, that's all for me today, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, please share your comments, pass it with your friends. Let's get this out there, let's start a conversation, and let's start making some people watch this video. Thanks, bye.